It is so easy. Do you understand? It is so easy. Just make a game. The secret to learning how to code. Make a game in a visual drag and drop game engine. And I guarantee you, you will learn how to code and you will love it. Motivation is the most important thing. There's nothing inherently hard about it. It's just the motivation. Sitting down for extended periods of time. Why learn how to make a game in a drag and drop engine? Surely that's not real programming. The thing with these drag and drop engines, they teach you the paradigms about programming, the general concepts. While you may not be learning the syntax of a specific language, it is probably the most important thing to solidify your understanding of the logic behind how computers think, how programming languages work. For example, game salad. My interest personally started in the computing field when I discovered game salad and I was addicted. Like, it was better than a video game. Making games was more fun than playing them. Game Salad is a very easy, very simple drag and drop game engine. You simply drag in simple commands like when this, do this, or while this number is less than this number, do this. You know, very, very simple stuff. Now I don't recommend Game Salad because it's dead. No one uses it anymore, but there are so many visual drag and drop game engines out there. And there are also hybrids as well, so once you master the drag and drop, you can move straight to programming without having to relearn a whole new engine. When you start making a game, you will not want to stop, no matter what, I guarantee you. As soon as you wake up, you'll want to just go and work on your game until it's done. I'm not entirely sure why, it just is. I have some theories. Firstly, you can show your friends. The finished product is something anyone can use. You just show them, you give them your phone, and they play it. They don't need to know how to code, they don't need to know any of the technical details behind it. And when you see other people using something you created in front of you, I cannot explain the feeling of satisfaction that gives you. You get to see how they interact with certain things. It's like a live experience. You don't get that with anything else. If you made your own website or something, it's not really the same. You can't really get someone to go and play your website. I guarantee you the ball gets rolling within a few days after you start learning. By the way, this video is for complete beginners who have never even touched programming in their entire life. At all. I'm speaking from my own personal experience, but also what I've learned from other people, you know, friends who are programmers, how they learn to code, you know, what they wish they had learned, what they wish they had done, etc. The logic behind programming is easier than the maths you do when you're 10 years old. The hard part about programming is all the conventions and design and all that. That's where it gets hard. The main driver behind motivation is having an idea as to where to go next, right? Make a game in a game engine that allows you to export to things like the App Store, Google Play Store, maybe Steam. Another reason why making a game keeps you motivated is because you're not just programming. You have to think of the art, the music, the idea, and this constant change in what you're doing keeps you interested and doesn't get boring. So even while you find it a bit hard when it comes to the programming, drag and drop, whatever, you at least have something else to look forward to. Maybe in an hour's time you can focus on designing new art for the game. Who knows? For a first timer, I wouldn't expect you to just sit down and program for 3 hours straight. It's not enjoyable at all when you have no fucking clue what you're doing. Another small thing that a lot of you might not realize, when you upload your game somewhere, you might have YouTubers playing your game on their channels. Sometimes you'll just stumble across your game when you're searching it on Google and you'll be like, oh shit, someone played my game. And then you go and watch the video and it's got like quite a few views and you're like, oh shit, that's pretty good. I made that and now it's gone to some other person on the other side of the world. And that's crazy. For example, for me, I made a really shitty game called Space Banana and PewDiePie played it on his channel when he was going through funny iOS games.
We have Space Banana. You heard me right, folks. Space Banana. It's a banana in space. And I died. And all you can do is be a banana in space. What is the point of anything? Fuck this. Alright, well that is also fun for about 5 to 10 seconds.
I lost my shit. Yeah, I lost my fucking shit. I went through the roof. Also, with the game, the idea is easy to come up with, right? It's not like a website where you have to come up with something innovative and new, otherwise no one will use it. You can make anything. Like, look at Ketchup games. Look at these games on the top charts. They can be super simple. You know, 2D, minimal graphics, nothing special. Just a new, like, game mechanic or something that keeps people interested. And that could be huge. You could make millions. That's probably not going to be the case, but just the idea of that just keeps you going. You know, there are also objective results like the number of downloads your game gets, comments, likes, whatever, telling you how you can improve. It's kind of like driving a car. No, it's not. I just made that up. Once you've learned the simple ideas behind coding, you will find it so easy migrating to real programming. because you won't have to stop and think at every stage along the way what it is the computer is trying to do. You will instead be able to focus on the more important things, like good design. But yeah, I really don't recommend trying to learn how to code in any other way. If you want to learn to make a game without the visual drag and drop, then fine, that's at least better than doing something else. But making a game, it's single-handedly the most important thing. This is quite unconventional advice that you might not hear on other YouTube channels, you know? They might give you some pretty boring bullshit that you've heard before on other channels. At least try it. At least give it 3 days. If after 3 days you don't know what the fuck is going on still, please, I invite you to roast me and leave me hate comments. I invite you. Any low IQ idiot will be able to do it. Not to be ableist or anything, but if you can't do it, you must be sub 80 IQ, which is the disabled territory, so... Sorry. With making a game, you constantly have to play it. It just keeps you motivated. You constantly have to... Every time you add a new feature, you have to test it, you have to play it. And playing games is fun. I mean, unless you're an old hag who has nothing better to do with their lives. It's a fun process. Making a game is a fun process. So all these things I've told you about, just combine them together and it's just, you have to be crazy not to agree with me.